Welcome to the deep dive. So you're looking into virtualization technologies,
That's right.
and we want to get straight to the point today. What are some, let's say, potential downsides of using VMware? And is there maybe another option out there?
A viable alternative, perhaps?
Exactly. We've got some material comparing VMware and Proxmox specifically.
Sure.
Our mission really is to understand where VMware might fall short for some users and, well, how Proxmox stacks up as a potential substitute.
Okay, sounds good. So diving into the demerits of VMware, based on what we're looking at, cost is often a really big one.
The cost factor, always important.
Definitely. VMware's licensing, it can be per CPU socket, sometimes per user. It adds up fast, especially for scaling.
So for a growing business, those costs aren't just a one-off.
Not at all. You've got recurring license fees, support contracts, upgrade costs. It can really take a bite out of the budget over time.
Right, right. And what about complexity? Our sources mentioned that too. Is it difficult to actually manage?
Well, it can be. VMware is incredibly powerful, tons of features, but that depth often means, complexity.
Meaning you need special skills.
Pretty much. Effective management, getting the most out of it, troubleshooting. It often requires specific VMware expertise.
Which could mean more time spent just keeping the lights on.
It can, yeah. And potentially needing to hire or train people specifically for it, which, again, ties back to cost. More specialized usually means more expensive.
Okay, makes sense. So that leads us to Proxmox, which are material positions as an alternative. So open source.
Yeah.
Right. What does that generally mean in this context?
Right. Proxmox VE is open source. The immediate big advantage there, usually no significant licensing fees like you get with VMware.
So potentially big cost savings.
Potentially, yes, especially in the long run. Plus, being open source often means there's a pretty active community around it.
For support and the documentation.
Exactly. That community can be a huge resource. Proxmox also generally aims for a more, let's say, straightforward management experience, though it's still quite feature-rich. It uses KVM and LXC.
KVM, that's kernel-based virtual machine built into Linux.
That's the one, full virtualization, and LXC for containers, so flexibility there too.
So if someone's listening and thinking, okay, lower cost, sounds good.
Yeah.
What else do they need to weigh up before, jumping ship? It can't be just about the money.
Oh, absolutely not. Switching your virtualization platform is a major decision. Migration is a big one.
Moving all the existing stuff over.
Precisely. Your current virtual machines, your whole setup, you need to look at compatibility. VMware uses VMDK files, for instance. Proxmox uses KVM, which might use Cow2 or raw images. Can you convert them easily? That needs assessment.
Okay, so that sounds like you get pretty technical pretty quickly. There might be some hurdles there.
There could be. It depends on the complexity of your setup. And while the Proxmox community support is strong, it's different from having that dedicated enterprise support contract you might have with VMware.
Right. So you might need more in-house technical know-how.
You might, yeah. Or at least be comfortable relying more on community forums, documentation, maybe paid support options for Proxmox if needed. But it's a different model. You need to consider if your team has the right skills or the capacity to learn them.
So connecting this back to the listener, it really comes down to priorities, doesn't it?
I think so.
Are you focused on cutting costs, maybe wanting more direct control, and you're okay with a potentially more hands-on approach to management and support? Proxmox looks interesting. Or is this sort of established ecosystem, the guarantees of enterprise support from VMware, worth that higher price tag and maybe the complexity for your specific needs?
Exactly. It's a trade-off. There's really no single answer that fits everyone. Depends entirely on your situation, your resources, your risk tolerance.
Okay, so let's sort of wrap up this deep dive. We've seen VMware is, well, a heavyweight. Powerful, widely used, but cost and complexity are definitely things to think about.
Key considerations, for sure.
And Proxmox emerges as a strong open source alternative, offering lower costs, potentially simpler management in some ways, but you need to factor in migration, technical skills, and the different support landscape.
That sums it up well. The core takeaway is really about careful evaluation of your own unique requirements.
Right. And that leads us perfectly to our final thought for you listening. What specific challenges or pain points are you actually facing with your current virtualization setup? And how might exploring an alternative, whether it's Proxmox or something else, potentially address those?
Something to mull over.
Definitely. Something to think about after our chat today. Thanks for joining us.